Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin, and today is Monday. I think it's Monday, yes, 21st of December 2020. Thanks for tuning in if you're tuning in. Um, wow, today's pretty magnificent, I think, for a lot of people, especially those of us that are of the spiritual ilk, which I think all of us are. What can I say about today? 12, 1 and 2, 21, 2 and 1, and 2 and 0. Lots of ones, lots of twos, which brings me to today's card, which I pulled. As I get ready to come and do this, it's quiet. I've talked about that. The 5 a.m. is a book I'm reading called The 5 a.m. Club. And I've talked about this, that quiet time of the year, of quiet time of the day, that everything is still and just peaceful. I know for me, it just allows that magical moment when I don't have distractions. I don't really have to worry about much of anything. Just be with the energy that's coming up. And in those 4:30 to 5:30 time frame, I'm musing about what can I share with you, what is the essence to build the day on, and the first word that came into my mind was courage. Okay, so why do I want courage? Do I want, and then it really wasn't courage, it's shifted to confidence. And I was brought into mind those who may not feel very confident at this particular time in their life. I know several folks who have now adults, grew up in fear, being protected, being given no way to go and expand themselves. And part of me wondered if this came up because I was writing a chapter yesterday on the book that I'm hoping to get published 2022, about the time that I moved up to Charlotte with a job offer, and it was a completely random thing to do for me to pack up everything I had, and just move to a city. I didn't know anybody. I didn't even have the job I came up here to do, from Miami, coming up, going up 95. Anyway, I was writing about that there's times in all of our lives where we've had actually nothing else to rely upon but that feeling of inner faith, the feeling that you you know you've got to do something and you've done it, and when you've done it, nothing that you expected turned out to be the way you thought it would. And I'm reminded now that on a global level, everyone is facing that. Nothing we expected is turning out the way we thought it would. So I'm putting a sort of a hug around all of that, the people, the situation, that if you find yourself feeling, oh goodness, what do I do? And it could really be a lot of endings, a lot of ooh, time's run out. We're done. It's it. It's come. Push. You can turn a corner, and a house that might have been on that corner for 70, 80, 100, 200 years, woof, it comes down. And those of us that live in the Charlotte area, if you've been around, particularly South Park, um, South Park's, for those who don't know, an area of the Mecklenburg County that has a mall, and now it is incredibly overly, I think, my opinion, populated. Shops. It's got its own. It may as well be its own city, as Ballantyne is, and other areas of this area. It's a pretty active area to move to. It's just why 1.5 people move into the city as one person leaves. So we're growing. And no accident that we need places for people to go. But the point I'm making is, when I first moved to Charlotte, everyone talked about this new mall called South Park. It was back at the end of 1993. Yeah, it's a mall. I don't know if back then it was anything huge or impressive. Now it's pretty impressive. Um, and the point I'm making is that change comes along. Having the confidence to navigate that change. For some of us that have done it in simple and subtle ways, we have the ability to step up and lead other folks in saying, it's easy to say, well, don't worry, it'll be fine, everything's going to work out okay. Ooh, but what if you don't have the confidence to believe it? What if you're one of those folks that have always been raised with the glass half empty, or, well, how can you say it? There are, I mean, it is what it is. How do you rely on yourself to know it's going to be okay? That's confidence. To get confident takes courage, and courage is what I call a tricky bridge. It's a tricky bridge of trusting what you know for sure and leaning into the feeling of, there's a whole big area out here that I don't know anything about and I'm really not sure about, and I'm feeling a little bit insecure. Plus, if you add on, I'm calling it no sense, not nonsense, no sense pandemic. A no sense makes no sense. And now the poor folks in England are dealing with, that's my hometown, my home city. I always go to family when I think about it. Well, my home country, if you will. Well, now they decided, oh, there's another strain of this mess that's going to amp up quickly. So let's just stop these English people from traveling anywhere. Oh, really? Trust me. England and the people that live there, they won with the help of Americans. I'll go there. World War II. They just said, no. That's a pretty resilient group of people. And they're pretty courageous. They do what it takes, and they rely on their resources. I'm one of them. Okay, so let's get to today's theme, if you will, subject. Thinking about confidence and courage. The courage to know what you want, the courage to do what you're doing. Here's the bigger thing. The card I drew this morning was, here we go, signs and reminders. Oh, so then why did this play into courage and confidence? And I don't sit here and think up how to glue point A to point B, although that's part of it. There are signs everywhere that we are never, ever on our own by ourselves, even though we might feel like we don't know what we're doing. We haven't got a clue what's happening. In your life, up to this point, you've had that feeling. You just don't really know whether to go left or right, up or down. If you just let that go, get out of the mischief and mayhem, the maze. You know what a maze is? You get in one end, it's a bunch of bushes, you can't find your way out. The maze of mischief and mayhem. You've got to get out of it. Because the maze of mischief and mayhem leads to more mischief and mayhem. It's a bit like you've got this big flag up there saying, I want to live in a land of confusion. No, we're already there. We've got to find the way out of it. So, signs and reminders. Look for always double numbers. For instance, today, 12, 1, 2. Then 2, 1. Then another 2. Bunch of 2s, a bunch of 1s. That's just telling you, oh, this is a pretty fastidious number. If I add 1 and 2 together, I get 3. If I add 2, I get 5. If I add another 1 to it, I get 6. If I have another 2 to it, I get 8. 8 in numerology is the sound of infinity. It just keeps going. There's a flow that keeps on going. It won't stop, just keeps going. You can be in the flow of energy, the flow of, expressiveness, the flow of change, being in that. Let's go. Think of the river, let go of the sides, lay on the lily pad, lay back and just enjoy the ride. Or you can try to hold on. But I guarantee the holding on takes effort. The holding on tight is a lot of work. Let go and just let it be. Let things happen the way they're supposed to. Right now, stuff's happening quickly, fast, almost too fast, almost too quickly. If we hang on too tight, if we wait too long, if we're not looking at our, there you go, signs and reminders, butterflies, feathers, birds. I think I shared with you last week, I've had this sweet little chickadee that I was cutting a hedge a few weeks ago, and it came and parked itself up on the hedge, and I'm like, well, hello, they're friendly little birds. And then last week I got in the car, and I don't know if it's the same one or a different one, popped up on the garden fence. I mean, really an arm's length away. Normally they pay attention, see me there and fly off. No, this one was pretty ballsy, much to say, well, good morning. And then yesterday I am doing a bit of riding, folding some laundry, getting ready for this week. And here's one on the back porch, just perched up on the back of the chair. Like, I think if I opened the door, it would have come in. They are pretty courageous, confident birds. These are signs that we're on the right track. We're doing the right thing. We're moving in the right direction. Put your big boots on and take one foot and put it in front of the other. Yes, you should be cautious. Yes, that doesn't mean to say, well, we just go out there and wrap ourselves around a loan that we really don't know if we can pay it back. That's not what I'm saying. Don't be reckless, but also be aware of, well, let's just not buy into any panic at the moment. Let's just sit back, offload the stuff that you don't need anymore. And know that new stuff's coming, but it'll be new stuff. We don't have to really buy into this poverty consciousness. That's a consciousness. That's energy. I don't have. There's never enough. I don't know what to make of this. The government saying they're going to cover checks. Help is on the way. Well, no, help's already here. You've got help everywhere. Ask for it. I'm not just talking about financial help, but it may be that. And then on a physical note, something interesting that's going to happen tonight about 45 minutes to an hour after, if you're in Charlotte. Well, if you're anywhere, I'd imagine, after the sun sets, Saturn and Jupiter pass each other. And it almost looks like astrologers say that they kind of merge. Well, I don't think that's possible, but they pass each other. And it almost looks like they're together. They are, God knows how many hundreds of thousands of millions of miles apart. And it just gives me this idea that they're so big, that we are so far away from those planets, but yet we can see them with our naked eye. That is phenomenal. So if you're out about an hour after the sun goes down, look towards the southwest sky, look up, and just watch. If nothing else, you're watching something that has not happened and may not happen again for another about 80 years or so. When you pay attention to these signs and these reminders, you're sort of reminded that you matter, that you're on the world with your eyes open, your heart open, your whole system open to these literal physical miracles that happen. And I'm thankful for astronomers who look up there and they just say, listen, this is going on. You can watch the telly and be in the television and be in that craziness of what people are doing, lawmakers are doing, which to me lately I'm going to be ratchet again, sorry. I laugh. I laugh and I giggle because it just, I know they were elected and I know people think that they're important people. They're people. They're just people. Lawmakers. Okay, well, listen, you're not writing the check that pays my mortgage, babe. You're not going to the store that picks up the groceries that I'm going to eat. And I get that you're up there doing a job, and you listen. No, all power to you. Really, truly, all power to you. It's hard for me to really dig into politics of any country, any nation. It really is. Here's why. Look, um, I like to be with all of you doing the work that you want to hopefully inspire and motivate and hold the hands of your fellow man and hold them up. It doesn't really matter. Everybody gets down on their knees and cries and weeps. All right, get it out. Here's a tissue. Now, let's stand up, wipe those tears, blow that nose, and let's put your foot forward. What can I do to help you get where you need to go? That's what we do. We hold hands. We, give what we can when we can. There's a lot of folks out there that are really, truly struggling. And I just find it quite astonishing, if you will. Those lawmakers that are up, and I'm going to get really ratchet. I'm probably going to get in trouble because this is going out public. Those lawmakers up there meaning this capital, that stand there, whatever they do, I don't know they've really had to struggle. I don't know that any of them have really had to worry about where their food is. I don't know that any of them have really had to be so concerned that their children are going to be educated, get educated. And it saddens me that these folks, for centuries, really, have been making decisions for other folks. Really? Based on what? And then there are another ring of folks who are affluential. I know a few of them who are really doing great work, who are using this weird twisted word, wealth and privilege. Again, it's an energy. If you feel wealthy, and wealth is not just money. We've been told that wealth is all about money. Where their health insurance is coming from. Well, yes, Miss Megan, I got that. There's another thing too. It's not always equal. Not always equal. I get it. The thing right behind it is I have, by many people's standards, two major health issues, right? One is diabetes. I've had diabetes for 20 years. And the second is heart issues, that arterial heart stuff where the plaque builds up and plump, that's it, you're done. Now, I'm not really walking around with that as my poster. Yes, it requires health insurance. Yes, I work for myself. I got to pay for it. Yes, it's expensive. If I sat in that puddle of worry and woe and didn't have courage and didn't have confidence to think, I'll make it no matter what. And at the time that I had a heart attack, I might have shared this. It was 2013. I was going through a Chapter 7 bankruptcy because I'd lost a job the year before. Did all I could to try to keep up with bills, but it just wasn't happening. The result of it, the stress of it, the worry of it, the impact of it, actually created the stress that actually put my physical health in a compromising situation. I remember being in the emergency room and these doctors and nurses were basically telling me, if you don't do something right now, you're going to die, right? And you hear these words and you're like, well, who are you to tell me this? I mean, I was bargaining with them. I'm asking them how much this is going to cost. How much does it cost to get the catheter done? How much is a doctor? What is a stay in a hospital? I'm trying to figure out. I mean, up to and including, do you have any coupons for this? Because I can't, I've got the money in the bank. And my fear, my lack of confidence was that these people were going to put liens on my houses, that they were going to come after and take whatever I had. Because health care is expensive. I'm not saying that doctors and nurses and health people, professionals, Lord knows they're soldiers right now. I am not saying they don't deserve to earn a living. We all do. We all do. But when it comes to how that whole energy system works, we oftentimes have to compromise our health, compromise everything to be able to afford it and pay for it. If I didn't have the security and the confidence and the signs and the reminders of, well, it is all going to work out somehow. It will. It always has done. For some, that's a very loose way of looking at life. The way of, but what's the alternative? The alternative is added stress. The alternative is biting the inner lip. The alternative is really the energy that sends you in a downward spiral, not pulls you up. What I know for sure is that I took a chance. I took a chance and said, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. And I don't know where the bill's going to come from. Oh, and there were bills. There were bills. Lots of them. But I'm going to get through it. I'm going to survive it. And I'm going to just do this. And I did. And thank God. I mean, seriously, whatever power is out there. But I also made a bargain too. I decided after the fact that, well, I don't take this lifetime I've got, this gift I have, this whatever that is, to create something bigger, greater, better than it started lightly. There are limitations I have. There's limitations everybody has. Work with the limitation and use it to everyone else's greater advantage, as opposed to using the limitation to not work. Take the limitation and make that limitation work. I look at folks all the time who have challenges, physical challenges, emotional challenges, financial challenges, and now our healthcare workers, their job, that's a challenge to do it, to get out there and do it. We're moving into a brand new era where, oh, we're okay, we're doing all right. Let's help others get to the same place and be okay. Not everybody's an island. When they say everyone is in this together, those folks, some of them that are saying it, well, what are you doing? How are you making this work? How are you making this a better place? Contemplate on that. This is the shortest day of the year. Really, that just means a day without as much sunlight as we usually get. But for me, it means one day closer to lighter days. And I like the sunshine. I have to say, when it's dark and gloomy and dreary and cloudy, oof, I don't like that. doesn't light me up. So, all right, my friends, we're going to meditate. Thanks very much for listening to me rant on a bit this morning. Yeah, I think I'm done with that. All right, let's put our feet flat on the floor. And for today, let's put our palms facing the roof or the ceiling or the heart or whatever, upwards. Bring your feet flat to the floor. And we're working with the energy of courage and confidence. Start with your physical body and where it is. Begin with the floor and press down. Let the roots of your feet tether into the depths of the earth. Know that the earth beneath your feet grounds you and keeps you connected. Deepen your inhale breath. Release and let go with your exhale breath. Breathe in more. Let go of more. Last big breath in for this point. A little bit more in. Little bit more in. And release and let go. Take your major joints, the shoulder joints, neck joints, elbows, wrists. Move and shift and shake everything that gets in the way. Just settle your mind. Let your thoughts just drip through, roll by. Just keep listening to your breath going in and release on your exhale out. And for this meditation, as you breathe in, think of the left side of your body, particularly the left side of your face, ear, side of your head. As you inhale, that's the side that you receive. Start receiving what you want as far as the confidence, the courage. Imagine that it's pouring into the left side of you. And on your exhale, let go of insecurities, let go of fear, and think of that as not so light, not so bright, but just think of that as an energy that is traveling down your right side, down into your right foot, and disappearing into the floor. Breathe in, pull this light energy of courage, of confidence, of an inner knowing, the higher connection. Pull all that into your left side. From the left side temple, You can see it coming in as a light beam, if you like. It's traveling in down, being gifted to you. Let it settle into your heart area. And then with an exhale, you see it leaving the negativity, the feeling of lack, the feeling of fear. Let it all leave down in through your right foot. And continue breathing in the confidence, the courage, receiving the love and the help, the signs, the divine connectiveness, and this time at your heart. Where you increase and replenish the right side as the right side releases insecurity, worry and anxieties, releases all those feelings down through the sole of the right foot. Replace the space with everything that's coming from the left. Be still and know the greater amount of worries and woes that leave, that you consciously release, creates a greater space for more confidence, more courage, more energy, more light, more wisdom, more trust, more love, more abundance in all of these things. Be with and know that the flow of energy is constant. Know the universe, the higher powers and guides of the universe are directly connected and for the highest good of all of us. As you receive more learning, more wisdom, more understanding, more confidence, more creativity, more courage, The universe is revealing to you, showing you, reminding you of what you need to know. By sharing and reminding you of your inner gifts, by shining a light, you're being qualified to share and help others. Be with the knowledge and the wisdom. Make the declaration that you are fine, that everything is okay. And from this very moment forward, all good things are possible and happen for the highest good of you, of me, and everyone involved. Seal this with the affirmation, so it is, and so shall it be. And place your hands at the center of your heart. Lift your thumb knuckles to your third eye center, just to honor everyone that you know, that you love, that you trust, and beyond, people you don't know. And together we see the divine in others. Namaste. Thank you very much. That was, I never really know quite what guides, angels, forces, energy. It's all energy. Reveal to me and how they come and show, and for want of a better expression, channel. There's a little part of me that I have to work on, and it comes with confidence and courage. It's linked to the comparison part, the thinking that I am supposed to be something else, do something else, work in a certain way. And I never knew when I put this bedroom together, painted that wall. A friend of mine suggested painting it and turning this bedroom into some whatever this is. I didn't know when I did it why I did it. I just did it. That's really the point I'm making. We don't know why we do what we do, just do it. It's the teaching from folks who want to try to make sure we're not making mistakes, but get us trapped in it. Yeah, sure, there's missteps and there's mistakes, and I've made quite a few of them. It's really how you learn. I learned from a lovely woman, teacher, Michelle Ramseth, who did some great workshops while I was doing my teacher training at Yoga One, who taught me to fail faster. What does that even mean? Well, don't look at failure as you, and don't take it personally. Just quickly learn Why didn't it work? And if you don't know why, move on, do it again. I do remember, and I'll share this with you before I go, that long years ago when I started my hairdressing apprenticeship, say long years ago, it was seemed like 1979 was full time, but I'd done it for 2 years before that, and it was something else because before I even got on the floor as a trainee, if you will, we had to learn about shampoo, um, how it's made, what goes in it, and at the time I was maybe 14, 15, something like that, and I couldn't quite get my head around why do I have to know what this product does and what that product does. Oh, let's fast forward 40 years. Now I have my own product line because I do know. It's really when you do things over and over and over, it might seem mundane, it might seem boring, it might seem, for goodness sake, this again, especially when we get it wrong. There's a tendency, all of us, sabotage. I'm not doing it, forget it, this goes on, I'm not doing that, that's crazy, that goes on. Instead of looking at it like, okay, if I did it, what possibility, what opportunity does it offer me? And now, can it help other people? Will it actually help other people? It could be very simple. Cutting the grass. You notice next door neighbour's lawn is a bit raggedy or a bit high. Well, help tidy their lawn too. You don't have to go knock on the door. Do you mind? No, just do it. Save them a job. Anyway, listen, have a great Monday. We're starting the week off celebrating, for those of us that are Christians or raised in the Christian faith, the birth of Christ on Friday. But then I'm also curious. There's Kwanzaa and there's an awful lot of other holidays, Jewish holidays coming up. It's lovely. It's a kind of a nice time of the year to celebrate. Yeah, we made it. We got through this time. Celebrate whatever you want to celebrate, not just because Christians put trees up and all that kind of stuff and run off to church. Celebrate it all the time. All right. Lots of love. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.